K52, the Saturday morning meeting. Well, if you've been following us on Facebook, Courtney and I did our anniversary ride. So we take one big motorcycle ride per year, and this one was a little under 4,000 miles. We left and went to Glacier National. I've got Glacier posted right here. But the trip is not the destination. The trip is what happens along the way. So we blasted out. We had a time frame to get to Glacier, staying with some people there. I had been to Glacier before. Courtney has never been, which is kind of reversed because she's been everywhere that I haven't been. Along the way, we jump off the highways. We go back roads. There's no plan. We have no place to stay. We have no place to eat. Sometimes we get really close on gas. When the orange light comes on a motorcycle, sometimes in a world of hurt. A few years ago, we got caught in Nebraska during COVID, and every place that had gas was shut down. So we ended up pumping gas out of one motorcycle into another motorcycle and finally made it to our destination. But you never know. It's funny because the main focus of what I've done over the last few years has been really major metros. And the way people live in a major metro, in a big city living is so different than rural living. We were riding along the highway. A lot of these back roads that we're on follow rivers. So, initially, the pathway was the animals, then followed by the hunters, then followed by the people that Lewis and Clark that discovered America, and they followed the water. And so these roads just serpentine and go across these rivers multiple times. And gang, it's beautiful. It is unbelievable. It's serene. It's beautiful. You're not riding 85 miles an hour. You're cruising at a speed so you can enjoy the scenery. And I kept seeing the little fishing signs, and I thought, I'm going to pull down and I'm going to see if I can see any trout in the stream and just kind of check it out. And I saw one historical marker with a fishing logo, and I missed it. So I said, whatever the next one is, I'm going to pull in. No signs, no nothing, just a little sign with a fish with a hook symbol. And I just pulled down this dirt road, and we opened up, and it's on my Facebook. There was a giant little restaurant and a general store and a couple of houses. It looked like one family had kind of niched this out, and we had lunch there. There was no TVs on. There was no news channel on. Everybody was happy. The people that had pulled in there, we just kind of hung around. You start up a conversation. People look at your license plate, and they figure out where you're from and ask where you're going. And it's almost like you're in a different part of America, like a different part of the world. And we did that multiple times. We get so lucky with the people we meet. We stay in little hotels. We go to a town that has, 1,500 people, little small place, mom and pop hotel. We pull in. They're the kindest, the nicest people ever. We eat in the little local restaurants, a lot of food trucks. You go into a city, you find a food truck, and, they're just trying to eke out a living in a food truck, and they are so pleased and so happy that you're there. It's different. When you're in the city, you wait an hour to get a table. Your service is not good. People are upset. I think the TV's on 24 hours a day telling them you should be mad about all these things, and we just didn't experience that. And I don't know how I can convince everybody that watches this that when you plan your next trip, don't plan it. Maybe have a destination. Yellowstone, we went through Yellowstone, and Yellowstone has become so gigantic now that I just don't think it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Courtney and I have gone in the winter and rode snowmobiles, which I recommend because a lot of people don't want to go when it's 0 to minus 20 degrees. But we did that, and there wasn't many people in the park, and it was gorgeous. It was fantastic. I think everybody that was in the United States was in Yellowstone the day we went. And it was super crowded, and it wasn't fun. But we got into an area, we came through, Courtney had a little bit of, if you followed us, Courtney had a little bit of mechanical on her motorcycle. Not something that stopped us, but something we had to stop and do some maintenance. We went to a place called Ten Sleep. And it's a Precambrian area. So it's just, you're riding across Wyoming and it's just plains, just grasslands as far as you can see, no humans. We're out in the middle of nowhere. There's no gas stations. There's no food. And then all of a sudden, you're in this cavernous serpentine valley. And it's incredible. We slowed down to almost can't put the kickstand down speed just because we didn't want to miss anything. And we've documented it on the video on Facebook, but it doesn't do justice when you don't see it with your own eyes. And we stop a couple of times and we talk about it. We end up in a little small town, little small hotel, went to a little, there's like 3 little restaurants and food trucks in the whole town. We ate, met a bunch of people. It's a different world. And it's weird because it's in our own country where there's controversy going on and everybody's upset and everybody's angry and nobody can agree. When you get into a little rural town where they all depend on each other for their livelihood and they all know each other and they're welcoming, it's a different part of America. My challenge to you is in the next 12 months, find some place like that and just see a different way of life. PK52, the Saturday Morning Meeting.